And we're back. Couch Company Podcast. I am John, and with me, as always, Tyler.
Closed your eyes for that one.
I was feeling it.
Yeah, you're channeling. I could tell immediately.
I was in the zone. I think you said this last week on air, which is a little bit embarrassing, but Tyler plays the music for me, just for me.
I didn't say it on the air, but that's
so
fine.
Now that it's on the air, I'm pretty sure you did.
At one point, I didn't. Not last week. We were talking about it.
I might cheeseburger you that.
Done.
Fuck. I'm sticking with it. I think you did.
I truly don't know, but I feel...
Either way,
Sure.
Tyler plays the music just for me because it's already preloaded into the system. So gets me juiced, gets me going. It was a little bit of an eye closer that time. Sometimes you just need that to, really channel your senses.
Yeah.
Because you have too many senses going on. So visual, nasal, what is that called?
Sense of smell?
Yeah, but is there a word for that? So visual would imply your sense of sight.
Oh, sure.
But what would imply your sense of smell in one word?
Well, something is a visual, so that would be like an aroma, maybe?
An aroma. But a visual is like a two-folder.
A two-folder?
Yeah, it's like... So a visual can be something, but...
Like a visual aid.
But the visual aspect of something, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about my sight. I'm not talking about a specific something I'm looking at. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that's a good question.
Are we spiraling already?
No,
or?
I mean, you have visual, you have... so, I guess...
For hearing, it's auditory, something like that?
Mm-hmm.
Audial? Is that a word?
Yeah.
Are we fishing?
Audio? That's a word. You made it up. Yeah, you just said it.
Well, sounds like a word.
I don't think that's a word. I'll look it up for you. I don't know. I'm sure.
But it's, you know what I'm saying. It's
I know
close
exactly what you're saying.
It's close.
It's super silly, and we're already off topic, but I'm looking it up for you.
But what smell? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like auditory is ears, right?
How do we Google this? What is
that's the question.
Smell
equivalent of visual. That's the worst Google question I've ever heard in my life. I hope it comes up with something good here. Let's find out.
A lot of smell-o-vision stuff is coming up. What is the smell equivalent of... I'm actually going to put auditory in.
Auditory. Yeah, your auditory sense, right?
Yeah.
Right? I'm like asking someone who's not here.
So people are already asking that for touch.
Oh, touch is another one. So what would be the touch equivalent?
Olfactory? Auditory, sensory, convergence.
Olfactory is ears, I think.
Olfactory. Yeah. Auditory sense. What are the 7 basic smells? Gosh.
All right.
Did you know there's 7 basic smells?
I did not know that. I know there's 7 basic tastes. Is that the same thing?
What is the sense of smell called?
Yeah.
Olfaction.
Olfaction?
Yeah.
Google olfaction. See if we can get a definition. Dude, we are...
look up.
This is fantastic.
Sense of smells.
Yeah.
Let's see here. The action or capacity of smelling. The sense of smell.
Perfection. Olfaction. My olfactory sense.
Yeah, I guess so.
We literally learned something.
I don't like it.
I don't like the word either, but now I know. And that's like a douche card you can play now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like... Yeah, my olfaction.
You're saying we've grown as humans, but in probably a negative way.
I do nothing but grow negatively, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Yeah. I feel like I'm getting dumber every day.
Well, you're getting smarter in this case, but in a bad way.
Yes, I use my powers for evil exclusively.
Yeah.
And, that brings us back to the conversation, like any superpower you get can be used for evil.
Yeah.
Like 100%.
Yes.
The nicer you think it is, the worse it's probably going to be. Yeah.
Because when it goes bad, it goes like significantly bad.
Yeah. We should have like an essay box. I'm still waiting on like the Zerg essay, but that's a different conversation. But we should have like an essay box where, someone can submit their essay on why X superpower, in this case, the conversation would be X superpower can only be used for good.
Is that the official question?
That's not the official question. It's a different question every time. So when we have a question like that and we throw it to the audience,
they
can submit an essay.
But what I'm saying is that the official question for this week's episode?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure we've asked that before, but now I'm sending it to the audience.
So
stump us.
that's a good segue.
Yep.
On a couple things.
100%.
Spotify, we found, is 60% of our audience. Everyone is using Spotify, apparently, more and more.
Oh, that's actually interesting.
Yeah, it is, actually.
Yeah.
It jumped like 20% over the course of a year, you know? But a couple things. One, give us a 5-star review if you can. That'd be nice. Appreciate it.
Even if you hate us.
Even if you hate us.
I don't care.
Sure.
It means nothing.
Prove how much you hate us by giving us 5-star and you're the better person. Taking the high road, right?
I like that.
Anyway, give us a 5-star review if you can. We're going to put up some polls. So last week we had our top 25 favorite games. There are 4 of us doing it. I had a poll on like, hey, what list did you identify with most? Not who won or who was best, but just you as a person. Who did you identify? So that's on Spotify. And then we also have a question. So the general question is just like, hey, did you like this episode? What did you like? What didn't you like?
Right.
But we can change it to whatever you just said.
Give us a superpower that can only be used for good.
Yeah.
And we will dismantle your argument on air.
Yes. What everyone loves is putting something on the internet to get absolutely dismantled.
And then not being here to defend us.
Yes. Well, obviously, that's the best way of doing it. If I'm going to dismantle something, I'd rather do it in the cover of dark or whatever this is.
I'd rather be a sniper than
frontline bayonetist.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Bayonetist.
Yeah, you just have a bayonet.
It's a very specific role.
Just a stick with a bayonet on it.
It's probably the worst thing I've ever heard.
Dude, I'm watching Lord of the Ring, the Hobbit one or whatever.
Power of the Rings?
We haven't talked in forever. I like this. Don't get me wrong. Last week's episode was fun. I loved having guests on.
Yeah.
When was the last time you and I just got to sit and just go haywire?
We were in a pool.
Yeah, that was a while ago. Anyway, so the coolest part, and this is a tangent, but
wait, I don't even know what you're talking about. It's the Rings of Power.
No.
Or it's the Hobbit movies.
We will get there. The Hobbit movies, third movie, this is the coolest part of the entire Hobbit trilogy, is when which I don't remember this part at all, maybe the extended version, all the elves shot all their arrows at the dwarves, and the dwarves shot these like ballistae. Is that the right word?
Yep.
That then turned into like I think they call them whirligigs or whatever. And it's like, so you think of like 300, just a shower of arrows.
Yep.
And you're like, oh, these dwarves are effed. And then all of a sudden these dwarves just shoot out these like few ballistae. They start spinning and just mulch all the arrows. Do not remember that at all. And I like giant smile on my face. Like that's the coolest thing in the entire movie.
Yeah.
It was really cool. Anyway.
I think the Hobbit movies get a pretty bad rap, right?
Yeah, I don't like them at all. Yeah.
But that scene, though.
That scene was good. I personally, like looking at them, and I know I actually said something different last week when we were talking about it.
I'm pretty sure you were defending them, right?
No, I wasn't defending them. I was defending my order, as everyone does.
Yeah.
I think I might like the first movie the most. And then I think it just gets worse.
I have never seen them.
Okay. Well, they're fine.
That's what I said. I mean, people were always like, eh. So I was like, I'm not going to go out of my way to watch them.
Yeah, we just went through those 3. Chelsea's like, I'm ready to watch the original trilogy again. I'm like, maybe not.
Well, actually, before I segue that one, we're just going to segue all the way through this episode.
Just keep segueing.
Have you been watching the Rings of Power?
Yes.
Okay, so why don't you talk about that then?
Have you seen the Rings of Power?
No.
I'm not saying okay.
Absolutely not.
So and this is a funny thing. The interesting thing with Rings of Power, and it's hard not to compare it to Game of Thrones because they're both going on at the same time.
Fair.
Game of Thrones.
That's interesting, actually.
The audience can kind of keep me honest here. I'm pretty sure Game of Thrones has around $215 million budget or something like that. Rings of Power, $465 million budget.
Damn.
I think it looks it. I think actually Rings of Power looks better than a lot of the scenes in The Hobbit. Just the way it's like, I'm sure it's not the right technical term, but like color graded and the way, like The Hobbit just seemed very bloomy and just oversaturated and different things like that, especially compared to the original trilogy. And I think Rings of Power pulls that back a little bit and kind of is a good
middle ground.
Yeah. So the problem with Rings of Power is it's a PG-13, not even PG. It's like a PG version of Game of Thrones. Like it wants to be Game of Thrones, but it's not going to do Game of Thrones stuff. Yeah. Game of Thrones is brutal. People are getting murdered. A lot of brother sister fun time. Nah, brothers. That's not the right word. Or not word, but that's. I think it's like niece uncle time. I don't want to spoil too many things.
That's
right?
What?
A lot of incest going on,
I see.
Game of Thrones does.
Okay. I didn't know that was a big
spicy.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Game of Thrones
gotcha.
Yeah, I mean that's episode 1 Game of Thrones. But House of Dragons is still incestual and still murderous, but I think it's more compelling and more like I actually care and want to know what's going on there.
Yeah.
Rings of Power is pretty to look at, but also I don't care. I'm going to watch it. I think it's good.
Yeah.
I think all the actors and everything are fine.
Yeah.
I don't really care. Like Galadriel,
Yep.
badass in the movies and everything. She's really cool here, but when you put her up against what's her face from clearly I'm paying attention from Game of Thrones or House of Dragons or whatever. House of Dragons I think she's a better actress. Personally.
Yeah.
But
no, I totally agree. Like if I watched it, I probably would agree.
I was gonna say, wow, okay, that was the easiest.
Well, that's pretty interesting. So, Lord of the Rings is like the second age, if I'm correct, right? So this shit's like way before anything happens in the movies.
Yeah, Elrond is very young.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of different characters that are unnamed. So there's one dude that's like, hey, you look like Gandalf. And he's just known as the Stranger. And there's this whole thing of like, well, based off of the timelines, if this is Gandalf, then it's kind of changing the history of blah, 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 blah. Like, I don't know. I know that Dave's probably... Dave's the one that's like really into it. So I apologize to him. But I'm sure that people are dissecting all that stuff. And there's like Sauron. So it's like, oh, who's Sauron? There's someone who probably is him, but like, is it too on the nose? I don't know.
Well, that would be the most interesting part to me, like the characters that are like in the movie that we know. Like,
the characters are cool.
Because some of them,
everyone's cool.
Yeah, some of them would be like all the elves, right? Mm-hmm. Would be back then because they're fucking immortal.
Celebrimbor's in there.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
That's the whole thing. Like that's part of it is like
that's
they're
awesome.
getting ready to make that stuff. Right?
Yeah,
so, like,
yeah. But it's not as good. Interesting. Okay. Yeah. And then House of the Dragons is also a prequel in a sense.
Yes,
correct. Yeah. But it's not as far back, obviously.
200 years, not like 2000 or whatever. Yeah.
Interesting. All right. Well, Tyler thinks maybe that should be a poll.
I would be interested in that.
See what people like more.
It's tough because it's apples and oranges, so I hate making that comparison. But I think it's worth expressing the fact that, like, you're Amazon, you're throwing $500 million at something.
Yeah.
And for me, it's like, oh yeah, the new episode came. Like, so for instance, the new episode came out today. We're recording on a Friday.
Yep.
Cool. Probably not going to even watch it until Sunday. But like Sunday night when Game of Thrones comes out, I'm like, yeah, no, I need to see what's going on.
Yeah.
Game of Thrones was interesting because they actually fast forward. So the actress that they had in the first 4 or 5 episodes, she's gone now, and now there's a whole new actress playing the older version of her.
And that was intentional.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's crazy. I mean, it's like that's ballsy because everyone really liked her, myself included.
Yeah.
I don't know how it's only been 1 episode with the new actresses.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that yet. I also don't love the fact that it was just 2 of the actresses. So it's the queen and the princess. It's a whole thing. You got to watch it. But those are the only 2 actresses, to my knowledge, that were recast. I think maybe her husband was recast as well, but it's like everyone else is the same, and it's a little weird,
kind of jarring.
Yeah,
I could imagine.
It's fine. I didn't think I was going to be interested in it, but I want to.
It's good
see
enough
it through.
to get you there.
Mm-hmm.
Were you a fan of The Witcher? Do you like those?
I love The Witcher.
You like those ones? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I heard really good things about that.
I'm still more of a fan of The Witcher, even though I think Game of Thrones is more compelling.
Right.
I just really like Henry Cavill. Just makes me smile.
Henry Cavill carries.
He just seems like a cool dude. Yeah.
Absolutely, dude. His interviews are the best.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, that's interesting. My segue was.
Yeah. What's your segue?
Speaking of Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, which is the best one out of the 3. If we're talking extended,
sure,
is what was I going to say? Top 25 on IMDb.
Oh, it does hit that? I guess it makes sense.
I think so. It might actually be top 10. Like wild.
And probably makes sense.
Yeah, popularity wise, yeah.
Yeah.
I would see that. Anyways, we were talking the other day, as in Thursday,
Yesterday,
about doing a movie night twice a month? Once a month?
I think twice. I think once a month's too short for the... Like, we could get 25 movies done.
Absolutely. Well, my thought is, instead of going out after, just do a movie night.
Sure.
Once a month or twice a month.
We could do that.
Anyways, what we're going to do is we're going to go down IMDb top 250 movies list.
Yeah, it's going to take us 10 years.
It's going to take us 10 years.
Yeah.
But I feel like this is something we can stick to because it's not hard.
It's not hard.
Just watch a movie.
Yeah. I don't know how much you want to watch a movie at... Like, can you imagine watching extended Lord of the Rings?
We will have to early on in our first year.
8 at night or 9 at night.
That sounds terrible. But we did it all day, so nothing's going to be harder than that.
I think it'd be a good... it'd be fun. It'd be a fun thing to do.
Or we could do it... Anyways, so the first movie, Shawshank Redemption, Tyler almost fainted when he heard that.
It's a good movie. I'm not going to
When's the last time you watched it?
Like this year and last year and the prior year.
Beat your head against
I see it every year.
Yeah.
Chelsea
loves it.
Well, I don't know about loves it, but she watches it constantly.
Well,
every other day, man.
That.
It's just Shawshank. We
got to start with that. I will say number 2 is Godfather, which I know you're not a big fan of.
I'm actually very... Because last time I watched that was like 8th grade. So I'm actually interested to watch that again.
And then I believe after that, someone correct me. No, I think it's Dark Knight.
Yeah, okay, sure.
So there's a little juice in there for you.
I've been meaning to watch that again, and I've been holding on.
I don't know why I'm speculating. I could literally just pull it up and give you the first 10 that we're going to watch.
Yeah.
So
you have me 66% intrigued so far?
Intrigued? Do I have you? Yeah. I'm actually excited, yeah. So Shawshank, Godfather, Dark Knight, Godfather Part 2.
Yeah.
Which...
Do you think we just do 1 and 2 and then go to... You have to do it in order. That's part of it.
This is the Bible.
Sure. All right.
We shouldn't, but I don't care.
We're keeping our own list then, right? So we have the IMDb list, we have my list, we have your list.
Yeah, I figure we just download the app and we just give it a rating.
Sure. Can you actually do that, or do you have to pay for it?
No, it's free. It's a free app.
I assume that
I actually started giving them
microtransactions.
Well, there's ads. See that?
Yeah.
For my best friend's.
We'll get to that. Okay.
Exorcism on Prime Video.
That's number 4.
No, it's in between 2 and 3.
Oh, okay.
So I'm thinking it's like maybe a 2.5.
Sure.
Anyways, 12 Angry Men is at 5. Schindler's List is at 6. And then at 7 is Lord of the Rings Return of the King.
Okay.
Pulp Fiction 8. Lord of the Rings The Fellowship of the Ring is 9.
Yeah.
And then The Good, Bad, the Ugly is 10.
So I didn't see most of those, which is actually, or probably half of them, which is interesting.
What's interesting to me is we're going to be like 1994, 1972, 2008, 74, 57, 93, 2003, 94, 01, 66.
So just nothing has come out recently. Well, the
most recent, like what would you define 2010 on?
Yeah. Give me the last decade.
First one that's 2010 on. We're still going. This is wild. Interstellar 27.
Okay. Sure.
This is the fans, bro.
Yeah,
I don't know what to tell you.
Okay.
I don't know what to tell you.
We're doing that.
Saving Private Ryan 24.
That's a travesty, but okay.
Matrix 16.
Matrix is higher than Saving Private. Get out of here,
man. It's the fans, bro. What do you want me to tell you?
That's hilarious. That hurts a little bit.
Yeah, so...
Objectively speaking.
Okay.
How?
I don't know.
Like so to be fair, a lot of special effects and visual things in the Matrix. Totally get that.
You got it.
Doesn't really hold up compared to Saving Private Ryan.
You know who would disagree with you?
On. Who?
IMDb.
Yeah, well.
And all the fans.
What do they know?
There's not enough fans for Saving Private Ryan. If our audience goes and votes for Saving Private Ryan right now, we may be able to jump it as well.
Probably not.
What if it's close? What if we're 30 away?
Oh, man. I don't know. All right. Fair enough.
Anyways, that should be a fun project.
Other TV shows, real quick.
So speaking of...
Well, let me get my okay one out of the way. She-Hulk.
Oh, you actually watched She-Hulk?
Yeah, I'm caught up with She-Hulk. So I started watching She-Hulk with the promise that Daredevil will be in She-Hulk.
Yep. How's that going?
We have seen Daredevil's helmet in a drawer
Yeah.
in a post-credit scene
Yeah.
2 episodes ago. It's now episode 6.
Okay.
That's about it.
But it's keeping you around.
Unfortunately, yes. So here's the thing. I think the actress is very good. They have a ton of cameos too. She does this fourth wall break, like Deadpool. It's just like, oh, you're here. Yeah, Wang's in this episode or Wong's in this episode or whatever. Totally fine. But you remember this is my show, right? And like, it's like kind of funny. Like it's okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was fine. Everyone's giving it a bad rap with like CGI and things like that. Look, is it the best CGI in the world? No, but like the first episode, I don't know, it was as good as any Marvel movie, in my opinion.
Right.
I don't think the recent Marvel movies have been that good, personally.
Whoa.
Doctor Strange was bad.
Oh.
You can go on our Twitter, and I'm pretty sure Kevin has like a 3-page tweet about why it was bad.
Yeah.
It's still bad. So like, I don't know.
Like defending it was bad?
I don't know if he was defending. He was just explaining why it looked off. And it's like, sure, like there's a lot of technical stuff that goes behind it. It's very hard to make movies. I completely get all that.
Right.
But my whole point is it's still not good. You can tell it's not good.
Well, yeah, man. When you're putting a product out there,
Yeah.
okay, in a competitive space,
Right.
it doesn't matter why it's bad. All that matters is bad because I can go buy something that's good.
Right. Or,
you know what I'm saying?
I mean, the whole point is She-Hulk is CGI'd.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
That's a lot to do for a TV show.
Oh, no, it's,
So, like,
100%.
I don't know. But,
yeah, the fourth wall break was actually like in the She-Hulk comics and stuff, so.
I assumed it was, so that's good that they're...
Which is kind of interesting because, I don't know, like the whole Deadpool thing, like the reason he does that is because he's nuts. Mm-hmm. But, so I'm not really sure. I guess maybe she's nuts.
I mean, she's with it.
Maybe D's nuts.
D's nuts.
I don't know.
That's a good segue for the next thing.
All right, what is it?
I don't know. I was hoping I had something. Sorry.
Man.
Yeah.
Dropped the ball on that one.
You crack nuts.
Yep.
People crack up.
Yep.
Cyberpunk. People going crazy.
That was a leap.
Cyber Psycho. These nutty.
You can't.
Cracked nutties.
You can't say. You can't say.
You mean I can't illustrate the segue?
The problem was it was good, and there's something there, but you're like, okay, you crack nuts. People crack up. Cyberpunk. You can't say what we're getting to.
Speaking of nutty,
you got to be like, people were nuts,
folks. Yeah,
people were nuts in Night City, Cyberpunk, something like that.
Yeah.
Anyways, we watched Cyberpunk.
We'll fix that in post.
Jeff wanted us to watch Cyberpunk. And I like Jeff. He is a good guy.
It was his birthday.
It was his birthday last Wednesday.
Yeah.
And he's tall.
Sure.
So I watched Cyberpunk Edgerunners.
Yes.
On Netflix.
I did as well.
What did you think? I
think it is my second favorite anime.
Oh. You think it's better than Cowboy Bebop?
I'm not even trolling, man. Yeah, I do. It's more cohesive, and I felt more connected to all the characters and understood where the bad guy was and what his motivations were, etc. Yeah. It's not. Look, I'm not happy about it. Like, I don't want it to be. And okay, so hold on. Let me give you a caveat.
Yeah.
I will say I am more pulled in by Cowboy Bebop's art style.
Yeah.
And voice acting. So it's purely like the overarching story of Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
I was more into, and I thought they did a very good job translating essentially the video game into a TV show.
Yeah.
I appreciate that a lot.
Yeah.
If I did not play the video game, would have a very different conversation.
Of course.
But anyway, sorry, go on.
No, I had some thoughts. I'm really struggling.
Sorry.
Really struggling right now. It hurts my heart.
It's very close. It's very close.
My heart is hurt.
What did I give Cowboy Bebop? Like an 8?
Remember when the Grinch's heart grew?
Yeah.
3 sizes too big.
Yours just popped. It just exploded.
It like broke that scale.
Uh-huh.
Mine like shrunk.
Sorry.
Now we can't see it.
I'm sorry.
The scale's not even picking it up. You understand?
There's no
it's not on there.
Flatline.
Anyways, so I enjoyed Cyberpunk quite a bit. I'm not crazy like Tyler, but I think the adaptation was nearly flawless. They did a lot of little things with like the video game, like the ringtones the same, things like that.
The map, like the UI.
I actually thought that was a little cheesy, but whatever.
Okay, so we're on the same page with that stuff. Yeah.
But what they did really well, so there's a lot of nudity in it, which like my cousin was like, it's, you know, just fan service, blah, blah, blah. And they can cut some of that, which is probably true. But I actually think that's really important to the aesthetic of Cyberpunk as a whole. Like it's gritty, it's raunchy. You know what I mean? It's this city where sex sells. You know, there's nothing is off limits, I guess. You know what I mean? I think it's really important to that aspect.
So before I started watching it, Nate, because I was joking, like, oh, you get to see boobies? He's like, oh, yeah, in egregious ways.
That's why you don't like fucking cowboys.
No, hold on. I actually disagree because I don't think... I'm trying to think. Like, I don't think there was any piece that was like, they shoved that in there purely for the sake of shoving it in there.
There's a couple.
Maybe towards the end where it's just like, hey, I'm just going to walk around butt naked. Like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's that. But at the beginning, actually, no. I think
because
you're right.
no. So,
yeah, I think
so
it's
in the beginning, there's this BD. So it's like a what is it, like an interactive memory essentially.
Yep.
Of just getting banged, right?
Yep.
Like you're just having it's future porn, essentially.
Right.
But the way that they introduced it and the context of why that came on and what was going on and all that stuff honestly made sense to me.
Yeah. I was talking about the Ripper doc was watching porn.
Yeah.
But anyways,
but that makes sense. Like you drop in unannounced, right?
Yeah.
The guy's like a sleazebag, whatever, hanging out in his shop.
Contributes to his character.
Yeah, you just break into his a place, like, sure, what do you expect?
It also...
What do you do in your free time? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
I've never done that. I like to pray personally.
Yeah. Okay, sure.
But anyways, so yes, and it contributes to contextualizing, like, the society. Like,
exactly.
When he's, like, going on the train to school and, like, the dude's getting sucked off by a... automated sucker
flashlight. Yeah, sure.
It's like, dude, people are like addicted to this shit.
Yes.
And I think it makes a lot of sense.
It's a slum. Like people are like throwing up and laying on the street and everything. And it's just like it does visualizing where this person is.
Yep.
And really trying to hammer home like his mom wants him to just ascend all of this.
Yep.
And become something, you know? And I think all of that is necessary to illustrate that.
Yeah. So I think the atmosphere was nearly perfect. I think they encapsulate Night City almost flawlessly. Like it's a really great look into those kinds of aspects through the different devices that we talk about. I thought the art was really cool. So Studio Trigger has a really unique art style. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the time it's like, their MO is like just super over the top, fucking crazy shit. So believe it or not, this is probably one of the most tame projects they've ever taken on.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because usually, so there's like this one anime that they did. It's probably their best one called Gurren Lagann. And essentially, at the end of the show, you have these super mechs fighting, like throwing galaxies at each other. It's just it just gets as ridiculous as you could comprehend.
Yeah.
So that's like what they're usually doing. So while this seemed like very over the top, it was actually pretty grounded for them. And I thought they found like a really nice sweet spot in like the action sequences and things of that nature.
Well, yeah, I mean, like you're really trying to illustrate, hey, this guy's moving faster than you can comprehend, or this guy is extremely strong, or this guy is literally insane. Yep. How do you visually show that without just being like some creep dude that's just murdering people, right?
Yeah.
And it's giving these little cues that you see from episode 1 that then carries out through the entire series. And like, I don't think we're spoiling it right now, right? Like, we're not going to say that how everything turns out or different stuff. So like, I think there were plenty of like it's gruesome show. Like it's very gory and sex filled and everything. Like, but like you said, it matches the aesthetic. And when you look at it from start to finish, and how they're constantly at the end, they're still paying tribute to how everything began. It kind of does this like
full circle.
Yeah, I don't even necessarily go full circle and whatnot, but you know what I mean. Like it's there is
the end of that
this relationship. It's
journey
this mirror.
is the beginning of the journey we know in the game, kind of.
It's
around the same.
Yeah, it's really, really well done. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, great nods to the game without being annoying about it.
Yeah. The characters were all likable, more or less. I think there were some jumps in certain things, and there were some pieces that were left, and you maybe start an episode like, wait, did I miss something? And then throughout the episode, they kind of fill you in. I kind of liked that. I normally don't, but it worked for that one.
Yeah, so I enjoyed all the characters. I thought they were unique. I thought they were well written as well and cool. Like the whole squad is really cool. So I was actually told that I was going to fall in love with the main character, David, I think his name is.
Yeah.
And while I do like him, and I think he's a good main character, I don't love him because one of the down points for me is the pacing of the show. Now, they only have 10 episodes. And I think with 10 episodes, they actually did an extremely good job with it. But for me, I could have used more episodes because like you never get a breath in this show. It's just one thing after another. And for me, specifically for the main character, I don't see that growth. There is growth throughout the show, and he like has these lessons and he's learning things and he gets stronger, blah, blah, blah. But there's just like this one point where it seems like super sudden, like in the middle of the show. And I don't want to spoil anything, but essentially this event happens and then we kind of cut either to the next episode or the next scene or whatever. And he's like the leader now, and he's like jacked and like big and everything like that. And we don't see that progression. To me, it seemed like an on-off switch.
Do you think that it would hit, like if you could have set with, like if this was like an episodic thing, right? Like if you were getting this like once a week, do you think that would have, and now it's not going to help fill in any of the gaps or anything like that, but if you had that opportunity to think about the previous, like, I don't know, like 6 episodes or whatever, for a full week versus Netflix's like next episode in 5 seconds, and it's just boom, and here you go.
Yeah.
Would that have swayed anything at all, or is that just kind of like...
It could have helped, potentially, but in that specific instance, at least give me a montage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's something short you can do. I know montages are cheap, quote unquote, I guess. I actually don't mind them if they're done well, but give me something visual, just because I always like seeing that progression.
Yeah.
I don't like when we're skipping steps and now our character's here.
Do you think it leaves room for like a season 2, and if they ever wanted to do like a flashback, they could, and they can kind of start getting a little wonky with the timelines and stuff?
I think they could. I really think they had a nice beginning, middle, and end, though. I really think they know what they wanted to do. They set out and they did it.
Yeah,
and
they also did really well. And
well, no, yeah, exactly. But I mean, you look at other things, man, and it's like one of the best animes of all time, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, right? Which you can never get into. But the reason it's so good is because it's 64 episodes, which is decently long, but I mean, there are shows that are just hundreds and hundreds, right? So it's not like anything crazy. And they set out and had a beginning, a middle, and end. And that was it. And it did extremely well, but there was no sequel. There's no spin-off bullshit. They had some stupid movies, but essentially they had a story they wanted to tell. They told it, and that was it.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, why it gets so much respect, because like you're saying, anything that makes money these days, we're talking sequels, we're talking spin-offs, we're talking movie, we're talking whatever. It's just it's a money pit, which makes sense, but I don't know. To me, I always like seeing the art come first. You know, is there another story we can tell? Because sometimes, a sequel makes sense. There's something more we have to tell, but you can't force that. You're going to see it. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I mean, look, I agree with you. I think that for something like that makes money, it's hard not.
Netflix needs some of that right now.
Project
too.
Red, like, I don't think they had a hand in The Witcher, right?
Show or
the show? I
have no idea.
I mean, obviously, Cyberpunk is like very much like that's them. They're part of the production. Yeah, I don't know. It was I enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. It took me like 2 days to get through it, I think.
I did it in a day. It was really easy to get through.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did enjoy it. So the pacing was the only downside to me, and I just wanted to mention one other downside was the dialogue at points was like kind of awkward. I don't know if you noticed that at all. Not the like the voice actors are very good.
Yeah.
But the actual written dialogue
Yeah.
was kind of janky at some points.
You're talking, so whenever they're on their comms
yeah.
and they like repeat words and they have these like fragments and things like that?
Not what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay.
What I'm talking about is one scene that comes to mind is early on when he's talking to his mom.
Mm-hmm.
So if you watch that scene, it's just very artificial dialogue. It's like,
Sure.
I don't even know how to explain it. Like the kid's like talking about, oh, I'm going to drop out of school, fucking blah, blah, blah. And the mom's like just the most stereotypical, I work all day.
Pokemon
Why
mom,
do I
like,
do this? I want you to be the best. I don't know. You'd have to
You're
listen to
breaking
the
my heart
scene.
type
Yeah,
of thing,
yeah. But it's very weird how
I gotcha.
it's written. It's just not, it doesn't sound real at all.
Okay.
It doesn't sound like a real conversation.
Yeah.
It's just very like,
I guess that's a
insert
standout.
Pokemon mom dialogue here. It was
Yeah.
like, it was kind of weird. But there's a couple points throughout the show where I felt that maybe I'm being very picky, but it kind of
there were a
took
couple
me out
things
of
like
it.
with the big bad guy and stuff like that. That's like talking. And you're just like, oh, you're monologuing, huh? Like, all right.
Yeah.
Like, sure.
But I mean, yeah, I don't know. So
One character, Becca, is like, oh, you just put a Harlequin in there, huh? You got
yeah.
get a little Harley.
I got Jinx from her, but
yeah,
me.
no, you're right.
Yeah.
Sure. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That's actually way more accurate.
Oh, you watched Arcane? All right, that's
Yeah.
cool.
I still think Arcane has the best art style. I would prefer
That's
Arcane's
interesting.
consistent art style than. I thought Cyberpunk had a lot of good stuff.
Yeah.
There were a couple points where I'm just like, oh, you got the little chibi thing going on. Like, you got the little anime-ish
Yeah.
thing going.
Yeah,
And that took me out of it. But
he hates the chibi.
I hate the chibi, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's interesting.
Overall, I thought it was really good.
No, me too. Not as good as Cowboy Bebop. I want everyone to know that the official stance of the Couch Company
Sure.
is that Cowboy Bebop is better than Cyberpunk Edgerunners.
I will fully endorse that.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
You just have to give it another watch. That's all.
I think I probably won't, but I will rewatch like One Punch Man whenever the third season comes out.
Sure.
I'm gonna watch all those again. Never mind. Okay. So one final thing with Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
I'm slowly reversing my stance on whenever that becomes reality and people are like putting like cyber stuff into their bodies and things like that.
Yeah.
I was like, that's when I die, right?
Yeah,
Like that's
yeah.
when I'm just like, no way.
That's what you want, though.
I think I'm turning around now. I'm just like, you know what?
Yes,
Screw it. I don't care.
yes.
Just like if I'm wanting to put my consciousness in a computer,
Yeah.
I may as well just be like, yeah, just load me up, baby. Like whatever.
Horrifying, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's a
the
nightmare.
whole thing is terrifying.
Because I don't know. Yeah, Cyberpunk really does make you.
They do a fantastic job just
Yeah.
being like, no one bats an eye.
Nope.
It's like, oh, my arm is going to blow up into a gun, and everyone's just like, oh no.
Yeah.
Like they're more. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, there's a gun, not like, holy crap, this is a transformer guy. You know.
The thing that gets me is like everyone's willingness to just mutilate their own body,
yeah.
like rip out your eye and put in a artificial.
Yeah, it's like
shit.
you have just a red
Just
eye,
like,
or you have like
bro,
3 eyes
yeah.
on one side of your face.
Yeah.
And everyone's just like, yeah, okay.
I'm just like, dude,
Yeah.
no.
We're getting there, man. It'll happen.
slowly.
It'll
No,
happen.
yeah.
I don't think in our lifetime, but it'll happen.
Fuck, I hope not. All right. Anyways, so that's Cyberpunk Edgerunners.
It was good. I liked it.
I did too. I gave it a solid 8 out of 10.
I would go higher. I think I would go like 8.2, 8.3.
Oh yeah, I usually do round numbers because
Okay. Well,
my
then
anime
I
list
think
only
it's-
does round numbers.
Then 8 it is. I'm good with that. I think One Punch Man's a 9.
I have it as a 9 as well.
Yeah.
But I also have Cowboy Bebop as a 10. So I will say the first time I watched Cowboy Bebop was a 9,
Yeah.
but I watched it again and I was like, this is a 10. This is a masterpiece. And the beauty of the show is you can just, it's one that you can just put on because it's episodic. It's not a, like you said, I think you like the overarching story better, which I do too.
I will say Ed is still my favorite anime character, which
More than
is
Saitama?
contradictory to everything else. Yes.
Is Saitama your favorite in that show? In One Punch Man?
Yeah, probably.
I like Genos better.
Yeah, that tracks, and he's a close second. But yeah,
he's so good.
Yeah.
My theory is, if you remove Saitama from that show, Genos is the main character.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially, the show is written in a way where you have the stereotypical, Genos trying to get revenge,
Yeah.
Gets defeated, puts himself back together, gets stronger every time, right?
Yeah.
But then they just insert Saitama
And
watch
completely
everything just implode.
If you took Saitama out,
Be like
that gets like a 6.
right.
Maybe.
Well, that's the purpose. They're like, okay, let's literally write the most bland show
Yeah.
to the point where our cities are named A, B, C, D. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Our heroes are S class,
Yeah.
A class, like the most generic shit you've ever
Sure.
heard in your life.
Yep.
Like it's a fucking mobile game, right? And then all we do, we put this guy in who's unbeatable.
It makes it infinitely better.
That's just the beauty of the show.
It's crazy.
Yeah. That's my theory on how they wrote it.
No,
Like,
it's
that's the
great.
pitch meeting.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. Well, speaking of beauty,
Yeah.
I was watching baseball the other day.
Okay.
Ready for this?
I thought you were talking about Planet Earth.
I have been watching Planet Earth, which is a beautiful show.
Any checking?
I think we should. So Kyle, which is our friend, we've mentioned Kyle before.
Sure.
Also, we need to get Kyle on because he did finish Final Fantasy VII Remake, the DLC,
Yes.
which you haven't.
Correct.
Uh-oh.
I'll get on it.
Yeah, we'll get on it.
The turntables have turned on me.
The turntables have turned to Batman. Anyways, Planet Earth 2, beautiful. And the reason I bring Kyle up is because Kyle's got that really nice setup now.
Yeah.
And you remember, you're like, we're supposed to go over and watch Top Gun?
Yeah.
We should watch Planet Earth 2 on that thing. It would be phenomenal. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
It would be.
Can hear like a bee buzzing around.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, you can see an ant squirt acid in a crab's eye.
Yeah.
It's fucking horrifying.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great show. It makes you appreciate Earth.
Yes.
Like
I'll take your word for it.
I know
sure.
you're like, oh, it makes me want to never go outside. I think that's the wrong take. Don't worry. I also don't want to go outside after watching it. I appreciate my house.
Yeah.
But it also makes me appreciate how fascinating nature is, how amazing it is.
Yeah.
Like, these dudes are scrapping out there, dude.
Are you still watching it on Plex?
Yeah, of course.
Well, then give me my DVD back and I'll watch it.
All right. Relax.
All right. I'm just saying.
All right. There's no way you're going to watch it. You're not going to watch it.
Nah, I will.
All right. It's number 1 on IMDb out of 250.
Okay. Well, they also thought Shawshank was number 1 of all movies all time. No, come on.
Well, that's not as ridiculous as saying Planet Earth 2 is better than Breaking Bad.
That's fair.
Anyways,
Touche.
so I'm watching baseball the other day,
Yeah.
and
America's pastime.
America's pastime for over 100 years. I actually don't know when baseball began. Probably in the 1800s, late 1800s.
How do you feel that America's pastime turns from baseball to an automated fleshlight where you're on the gutter?
Yeah, I guess there's no
jerked
baseball in Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
They're actually missing that. There's no sports as far as I know.
Because everyone's doing the virtual porn.
Oh, well, you're telling me you wouldn't just watch virtual porn? Actually,
Over baseball? Yes.
Actually,
and that's my wife walking right by. Yes.
No, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. So, yeah, that makes sense. It tracks.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry.
You would
track.
That's you. That's you.
The
in
fat guy
100
in the
years.
gutter?
Yes.
I hope I have more cybernetics than that, but yeah, I guess so.
The dude, all you need to do is buy a VR set and a sucker. And you're in a gutter.
Okay, we're please go talk about baseball now.
All right, baseball. Well, I just want to say, technically in Cyberpunk, they had like the UFC shit, right? The fighting ring. That's probably what it devolves into, right? Sports.
Yeah, something that's a little more gladiatorial.
Yeah,
sure.
Which is kind of full circle, right?
Yeah.
We just become completely fucking, what's it called? Primal. Yeah. All right. America's pastime, baseball, which is soon being eclipsed by sucking machines.
Sure.
Is a fantastic game. And I grew up playing baseball. But anyways, I was watching baseball. Anyone who's a sports guy or girl or whatever knows that Aaron Judge on the New York Yankees, best team of all time, tied Roger Maris's record, 61 home runs.
Finally.
In a season. Absolutely. It's like fucking
years in the making.
Yeah, like a lot of years.
No, I gotcha.
It's got to be like 50 years, maybe.
47? You have to look it up. I'm just trying. Okay. Anyway,
no, you're probably close. Anyways, so this is a big deal, right? Because this is absurd. Now, the all-time home run record right now is Barry Bonds at 73, but that's like steroid era. You know what I'm talking about, like early 2000s. So there's like an asterisk. But Aaron Judge, like not on any juice, tied the record.
Confirmed?
Yeah.
Never?
Well,
Never on any juice?
The dude's 6'7".
Yeah?
So, like, I don't think he needs juice. He's just a freak of nature.
How tall is Jeff?
Jeff is 6'6", maybe.
Okay.
Maybe 6'7". Maybe he's the same height.
You just called Jeff a freak of nature. Jeff, we love you. Don't listen to John.
That's a good.
You could be
good statement.
Yeah.
Anyways, he ties the home run record. The whole reason I was saying this is because I was watching it live with my dad. Right. And it was a very special moment because my dad's one of those dads that like he knows all the old players and everything like that.
So he's not the dad that then turns to you and says, "So music theory, huh?" That's what you're doing? That's what you're into?
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm sorry.
Getting some flashbacks, right? Anyways, so it's a special moment for us because we're both like really big Yankee fans. Anyways, the whole reason I bring this up, I know nobody cares about this, but I
care
do.
about it, man.
I care about it. I don't care that no one cares about it because I do. So I'm watching him. He hits the home run, right? So we're watching it. He hits the home run. And it's a fantastic moment. Mm-hmm. But I'm watching it in slow motion, and it's the camera angle from the dugout, so kind of from the side. So you can see him like swing, and you can see all the fans behind him. It's like a really cool shot, and it's in slow motion. And he swings the bat, as you do in baseball, and it connects with the ball. And instantly, you see thousands of people behind him just stand up when this ball gets hit.
Yeah.
And it's this most incredible, I just had this feeling come over me and I got really teary-eyed about it because it's just this beautiful moment where like what else, in life that can you connect on a level like that where it's like this independent event, you have so many people just rooting for one person and they all stand up in this euphoric.
Imagine being that person, right? Like you are the top of, that's it. Like
that's it.
You win.
I don't know. I think sports are beautiful to me. That was like a really cool moment just seeing like it's just all these people. I'm sure they all have different thoughts and experiences and beliefs and shit like that.
Yeah.
They all come together for this guy with a stick hitting a ball out of a baseball park.
You're tearing up now. Like it's beautiful.
Dude, it is a beautiful moment. Sure. And that's all that matters.
Yeah.
In that one moment, everyone's happy.
Yeah.
And excited, and it's just awesome. So I got really, really excited for that. And I think we need more of that. I don't know. Today's times before the suckers come along. I think the suckers will.
I don't disagree with you.
But no, it was really cool. So he's trying to pass the record now, 62.
Yeah.
He's playing tonight, actually.
What'd you say the record was, 75?
73 is the record for the MLB. But there's the two leagues, obviously. There's the AL, American League, and National League. So Barry Bonds played for the San Francisco Giants, which is in the National League. So
second best team next to the Yankees.
No.
Okay.
But it was a good guess. Yeah. So the National League record is 73. The record's kind of split up between leagues, if that makes sense. So the American League record, 61.
Gotcha.
So he's trying to break it. He's got 6 more games. Everyone's really excited. He's playing tonight, which is Friday. Peek behind the curtain.
Yeah.
Check it off the list. We say that every episode. Anyways, speaking of that, I wanted to segue into a dream I had because you were talking about, man, that must feel amazing to be that guy who hits the home run.
Right.
So I had a dream the other night, and I put it on my list when I was sending you topics because this is a top 5 dream.
Sure.
And the only other top 5 dream I've talked about where, I stopped time. So I have 2 out of the top 5. I don't have any
of all dreams. You just
I can't remember. Nothing stands out to me like this is one of the best things I've ever experienced.
Right.
In my head. Dream.
Yeah, but by default, then mediocre dreams would have to
right,
make
exactly.
Up the
But
other
I couldn't tell you what those were.
Sure.
So now we have 2 that are clearly defined. Anyways, I might have actually talked about this before in previous episodes. It's been so long, I don't even know. But fuck it, I'm going to say it again anyways. So I'm playing for the New York Rangers, which is the hockey team.
Oh.
And I feel like I might have said this on air before. Oh, well. Fact check me. So we're in Madison Square Garden, New York City, obviously. One of the most famous arenas in the world. I'm assuming you know Madison Square Garden. Yeah, of course. So I'm playing on the Rangers. It's super awesome. Bright lights, blah, blah, blah. And I score a goal. Yeah. 40,000 people on their feet cheering for me. My teammates are going fucking crazy. It was the most unbelievable experience ever. It was too much.
Yeah.
And people experience that, very few people, but people experience that like every night.
Enough people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's just like, I can't even describe how crazy that felt. Because it felt like it was one of those dreams. It felt really real.
Yeah.
And just, it was so loud and there's so many people. And it kind of brought me back to my music days. Because I really like this feeling of like, I felt like I was on a stage because like all the lights are on you and you know that there's fans out there or there's an audience, but they're all dark.
Yeah, you can't see anything till the end. Yeah.
Right. And I don't know, when I was on stage performing, you know, it always felt like everyone in the world's watching me. You kind of get that feeling because like everything else is dark and the spotlight's on you and it's like you and your team. It's a really awesome feeling. You feel like the whole world's just looking at you and that's all that's going on in the universe. So I don't know. It's kind of tough to explain, but it's very cool. So
I don't think I've ever had a dream like that. My dreams are pure death and not being able to stop vehicles.
That's so horrible.
Yeah.
Mine are usually like that.
Yeah.
But that was a good one. And so I wrote it down. I was like, dude, I'll never forget that. It was amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So you can't stop? So you feel like you're out of control?
That's if you get a dream book, that's what the dream book says. Because I'm always like driving a car and my brake's dead.
Yeah.
So like I'm like putting my entire weight on the brake trying to stop it.
Right.
And it's just like, nope. And then just slam into something, I wake up.
My classic dream, I'm always running away from something. Yeah. Someone's always chasing me. I'm always on the run. Like I would say 95% of the dreams, FBI's chasing me, cops are chasing me, I'm on the run, I'm in a fucking abandoned warehouse.
I bet that's something because I know I get chased, but I get chased by like monsters. If you're getting chased by the law, that might be a different meaning.
The dream book tells me that I feel like I'm imposter syndrome.
Oh, okay.
I don't deserve what I have.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just fucked.
Yes.
So we're working on it.
It's not great, but okay. Sure.
All right. Anyways, I monologued for a good bit.
What else is on your list?
Those were kind of the main points. Let me bring up the list again.
You got one targeted at me. You can say it. We can get that out of the way.
Oh yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Anyways. All right. The one targeted at Tyler, my good friend Tyler. I do remember a conversation that is recorded.
Yeah.
Where he agreed to play League of Legends every week, at least 3 games. And how's that been going?
So I'll tell you what.
All right.
Not great. Don't like League of Legends. So no, I told you whenever you text me that is kind of like you were kidding, but not kidding, obviously. And I was like, oh, I have something to say about that. So I actually went in and screenshotted stuff.
Screenshotted? I screenshot stuff.
But it's also a screenshot. I
screenshot
a screenshot.
Screenshot, it can be plural.
Yeah, well, I shot it. I took a shot of the screen.
Yep.
I can't do it.
Yep.
I took a shot of the screen. And I was going to Photoshop just a whole bunch of stuff, right? Like I was gonna be like, okay, what does a pro player look like? I just start like just photoshopping things, and I didn't care even enough to go through with that cheating. So that's where I'm at in my League of Legends. So I apologize. Yeah, I'm not. League of Legends is
that's
rough.
fantastic.
Yeah,
just breaking my heart all day.
I know. I'm sorry.
It's all good.
How's the garden?
The garden's dead. The garden's fucking dead. So
here's the thing, though. You produced. You brought me things. You brought me tasty stuff. I consume. The funny thing is, no idea if that's from your garden. You could have stopped it. The T-bones across the street and been like, I need your most organic looking tomato.
Well, to be fair, I gave you a lemon boy. You never heard of it.
I never heard of it.
It was orange.
Yeah.
I don't think you could buy that at a store. That might be a seed only.
I'm even taking your word that a lemon boy is a thing. You could be like, hey, man, I have a whirly twirly here for you. It's pretty good. And it's like, oh, man, a whirly twirly. Never had one of those before. Well, yeah, no, this does have a more potent flavor. Yeah.
Why would I lie about what it's called?
No, I don't know. No, I'm saying if you went and you're just like, I need a tomato. This one looks exotic. This one's like rotten, sir. You don't want that. Oh no, that's perfect. Give it to me. I got to chump that.
You liked it. I mean, you were kind of perplexed by it because it was a very different. It
was
wasn't
not
like
what
a
I
normal,
thought a tomato was. I mean, it was very flavorful. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was good. Well, I did tell you the secret to the lemon boy. It's not a great tomato by itself, but it's fantastic on a BLT because that sweetness.
Yeah, which is great. Which is why we ate it by itself.
Well, Chelsea's a psychopath and she just eats tomatoes. Yeah, so she wanted to.
I mean, that's what I was.
She wanted to get the raw experience.
Yeah. The little cherry tomato things that we've been popping.
Those are more understandable. She eats them like apples.
Tomato. Like they're like the bigger version. There's like cherry tomato, then slightly bigger than that you can't really eat in one bite, but you do it anyway and then you choke. That's the ones I've been eating.
Yeah, like a roided up.
Yeah,
like
a Cyberpunk cherry tomato.
Like a 73 home run hitting tomato.
Yes.
Yep.
That's probably the episode name.
See how we got both callbacks?
Can I just tap on the screen yeah, there we go. I flagged it.
Really?
Yeah.
74 home runs, 73?
73 home run Cyberpunk tomato. That's going to be the longest episode title yet.
Fuck it, dude.
Anyway.
Yeah, so my garden's fucking dead.
Don't gardens die around this time anyway?
Yeah, but the problem was, it was dead before. We just haven't talked about it. So I'm at war with chipmunks.
Yeah.
Chipmunks are God's plight on the world.
I thought it was locusts, but chipmunks
I'll take locusts.
Oh.
No, I won't. I take it. God, hey, big man, I will not.
God's like, rivers of blood ain't enough for you? Okay.
Yeah. Nope. That was a joke. But chipmunks, dude, the problem is I've netted up my whole garden with a net.
Uh-huh.
Netted is probably not a verb, so I'm clarifying. I put a net on my garden.
You screenshotted your whole garden.
I screenshot my whole garden, yes. And with a net. And I put a net on it, and this net is to keep out deer and shit and like squirrels, because I thought it was squirrels at first.
Yeah.
Or deer, because the deer always poke their head over the top and eat my tomatoes. Anyways, long story short, it's fucking chipmunks, and the chipmunks can fit through everything.
They love nets. They eat nets for breakfast.
They don't at all, but they fit through anything. So anything I put up, they will crawl through, they'll go under, they'll go over. It's fucked. They eat half the tomato. They don't even finish it, which is fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
These little shitheads fucking eat a quarter of my tomato, and then they're full, and they leave it
fresh
there.
One.
Yeah. It's like, at least finish it.
Yeah. Leave a little note, like a thank you note, a thank you dropping. Just be like, hey, 10 out of 10 would eat again.
Yeah, so they fucked up my whole garden. They were eating all my tomatoes, all my other things. I think a deer got in there because there's a hoof print. So
okay.
It is difficult to grow a garden. Also, there was a disease that killed half my plants. So my squash were coming in. I almost said squashes. My squash were coming in.
Squash eye.
They were coming in really good.
Yeah.
And they were big. The vines were big. Vines, stems. The things were big.
Mm-hmm.
And it was getting ready. And like this flower comes out, and that's where the squash comes out. And then this fucking plague hits and just kills all of them.
Yeah.
The fuck?
Can you imagine if you're don't take this the wrong way.
Yeah.
If you are a quote unquote real farmer, where that's your
no.
I told you not to take it the wrong way.
Well,
that means you can't. Even if I say something extremely insulting, you have to take it in a good light.
All right.
That's what that works.
I bought the Farmer's Almanac. Thank you very much. So
okay,
if
so
that
you're a real
doesn't make
farmer.
me real, I don't know.
All right. So can you imagine other real farmers in the world that deal with that, but on like just a massive scale? It's just like, hey, your crop's dead.
Like when it happens to them, they can't feed themselves.
You're, that's like the equivalent of getting laid off. You're like, well, okay, maybe next year if you have land.
Right.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah,
I shouldn't laugh at that. That's heartbreaking. That's
well,
terrible,
it's funny because it's like, look at Jon, that fucking idiot. Like, this doesn't matter.
Yeah, but it does.
Matters to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, in perspective, it's not a big deal. That I will take, you know what? I will take the plague if it means my friend Billy Bob.
Yeah,
that was
Joe Farmer.
Very extremely offensive.
Billy Bob Joe Farmer.
Well, it's
Sure. keep talking. Hold on, let me get one of these plows for you.
I'd like to apologize to all farmers. I know you have real names.
Oh man.
Well, Billy Bob is a real name.
It is somewhere.
It is.
Look, one of our listeners. I'm sure.
Fuck you. No. Do you think more farmers are named Billy Bob or more accountants?
more accountants named Billy Bob or more
there more?
farmers? I think most accountants probably go by William.
Exactly.
That's like William. No, that's like William Robert. Robert's Bob. Bob is Robert.
And then at that point, you just make a law firm, right?
Yeah.
William Roberts.
William Robert. Same guy, but looks good on a billboard.
All right, next topic.
What are we talking about? Holy cow. I missed you, buddy. All right.
Oh, man. All right, so
what else you got?
I had another dream.
Okay.
And I was
Top
on
5?
No.
By default?
It should be, yeah. Okay, fuck it. Yeah, we'll say it's number 3. I was on a staircase.
Yeah.
You know what a staircase is?
I'm aware of it. We don't have any here.
Actually, I read this fact.
The apartment, yeah.
And I actually don't know if I read this fact or someone told me because it was a long time ago, but I'm going to go with it like it's true.
Yeah.
Where staircases are specifically measured to a certain height, and it's kind of universal.
Yeah, otherwise you trip.
Otherwise you trip, right?
Yeah.
That's why if there's like a weird staircase, you'll trip.
Yeah. Like something that we call it steep, but it's just like, oh, that's crazy. And the same thing, like it's the height, and even if it's too short, like you don't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
Like your legs kind of just like.
And I think it's like minimal difference can really fuck you up.
It makes sense.
I don't know if that's
I think
true.
that's just people saying because they don't want to like admit like they just don't watch where they're going. You know.
Do you ever do like the phantom step thing?
Oh yeah. Where there's you
kinda
think
weird,
it's an extra
yeah.
step, and you're just like you just hit your leg or something.
What's worse, doing the phantom step when there's no step, or doing the phantom step where there is a step and you think you're done? Does that make sense?
No, because you're just talking about tripping.
Yes.
At that point.
So there's two.
So the phantom step is better.
There's two versions of this. You get to the top,
Yeah.
and you think there's another step, so you raise your foot up and then kind of slam it to the earth
Yeah.
because you thought there was another step.
Sure.
Or you're going upstairs and you think you're done, but there's another step, so you trip.
Yeah, tripping is always worse,
Okay.
right?
I don't know.
Unless you're rollerblading, unless you have ice skates and or roller skates or rollerblades on,
Okay.
I think phantom stepping is better
Sure.
than tripping.
Okay. You're probably right.
It's a subjective opinion, I think. I don't know if it's objective.
I feel like you can blow out an ACL if you phantom step.
I mean, I think if you're stepping up that hard, then maybe there's other things that you
have
need
a
to kind
conversation
of figure out.
about steps. Anyways, so I was on the stairs in my dream.
Yeah.
And I was having sex.
Oh. I mean, sure.
So
okay.
The question is,
Yeah.
is stair sex the answer?
Well, I mean, that was your dream. In your dream, was it the answer? Was that good? Is that what
So
you're asking?
I was running from the FBI
Okay.
after I hit a home run.
So this is like a combination. No wonder this is only top 3.
What if? Holy shit! Ready for this?
Yeah.
What if every dream was
It's
connected?
connected? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I
You
thought
had
about
that
that before.
thought? Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Or
Wow.
just, yep.
That's fantastic.
Trust me, buddy. That's a different episode, but yeah,
Yeah.
we can go down that path.
Oh man. Well, that extends into. All right, that's a different episode.
Yeah.
yeah.
We can go off tangent.
Anyways, so
Was it amazing? Was it the best sex you ever had on
no,
on the
I don't
staircase?
know. I was trying to cover, but pretty much someone told me they had stair sex.
Yeah.
And they said it's the best thing ever. And now it has me curious
Sure.
as to, is stair sex great?
Yeah, I mean,
Is that a Twitter poll? Would we get banned for that?
that's actually a very good question.
Should we test the waters?
I can't imagine we would get
Yeah,
banned
it's just
for that.
verbal. Like
Yeah.
sex is, everyone has sex.
Well, within reason.
You can't prove I haven't had sex.
True. I mean, I don't know how I would want to,
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's. Can you top 5 like in places you've done it? Where does the stairs rank for you?
As a Twitter question?
Yeah.
Well, it'd be more like, have you had stair sex? Yes.
Or
no.
you take the "Wasn't Me" song and
Okay.
take all those locations and then just kind of slip stairs in there.
Right.
I don't know.
There's a way to do it.
Yeah.
Well, the question should be, is stair sex great?
Just yay or nay.
Yes, no.
Yeah. Put it on.
Or a third option, I haven't had stair sex.
Sure. Do that.
Yeah, okay. I'll do that.
Put it on right now.
All right.
That's the poll.
There we go.
That'll be great. I'm sure there are plenty of people that will appreciate that one. What else we got going on? You got anything else on your list? We have a whole
Go
big
for it.
list.
You're up.
I don't want to monologue
I've
for
talked
the next hour. And
I
a half.
have monologued for an hour about
All right,
shit
well.
no one gives a fuck about.
Speaking of stair sex, the iPhone 14 Pro, it's okay. That's the Couch Company review. I got the Max. The Max is too big. The regular's just right. I got this little succulent case for it. That's what they call it. It's like a light green on it. I'm just talking while you're typing.
No, I
stuff.
think it looks really
yeah,
good.
14 Pro is cool.
Did Kyle like it?
I don't know. He didn't say anything since then.
Did Kyle
he saw the
seriously
Max.
drive all the way over to your house just to try the phone?
I don't think he drove I can't imagine he drove from his house to my house to try the phone. If he did, then I feel bad that I didn't like offer him a beverage or something. I think he was probably in the area, if I had to guess.
That's what I would guess too, but I like.
I would hope.
Yeah.
But
So, if you gave it a rating out of 10,
what's the scale from like 1 to iPhone 13?
so a 1 is a Nokia brick,
Yeah.
and a 10 is
I would assume a
that's-
1 is like landline,
that's
like corded landline.
Tyler. I'm not
look,
that old, dude.
Look, it's an amazing machine. It's really nice. I have yet to see the benefit of the 48 megapixel camera, which is I think
that's
overkill.
like their marketing campaign, right? Like that's what they're really trying to sell.
And I'm sure within the right lighting conditions and everything, it has like better dark details and crap like that. I find everything very grainy regardless. It's fine.
Do you take a lot of pictures?
No.
Okay.
Dude, you can see every picture I ever took on half of my photo screen.
PG pictures.
PG pictures, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know. Anyway, it's fine. I think the thing that killed it for me was I've been running this new iOS since like July when the beta first came out. So like the big new stuff that you can do with your phone, I've been doing for the past few months. So I did that to myself, but it's not like this major like revolution thing with it. It's like, hey, here's a slightly better camera. Also here, instead of a notch, now you have a little dynamic island. And while it's cool looking, does it really do much? No. And is it, I think, more distracting on full screen videos and games and stuff? Yeah. So
What do you think the next
8
evolution?
I don't know.
So the iPhone came out, changed the game.
Yeah.
What do you think the next?
I honestly, and this is actually me being serious, I think the next evolution will be in 2024 when you're going to start seeing cars. If, Apple, you know how Apple is where they're like, oh, we're going to do this. And then like 6 years later, they finally do something. They were talking, I think last year about the dashboards where the dashboards of cars. So you think from your like radio console with all of your air conditioning controls and everything like that across all the way with your speedometer and everything. That's all just screen, right? And the whole thing is you get in your car, you snap your phone into your car, and like now your phone powers your friggin' car UI operating system or whatever. So you can like anything you want digital readout, you want an actual speedometer, you want blah, blah, blah. Like it's all there and you can kind of like get this custom thing. And that's obviously kind of far future. I think that's the next iteration where your phone is now everything you do. And you see that with like the wallet and different things like that. But I mean, years ago, people had different stuff where you put your phone down and then all your pictures spill out onto the virtual table. That's just a screen. Can you imagine going to a restaurant where you put your phone down and then it's like, here's everything about it. And like, imagine if you're out to dinner and now you can have dinner virtually with somebody that couldn't make it to whatever. Like, I think that's the future of, because you don't have to do anything too crazy with the phone. The phone can stay the same. I think it's the world that's going to adapt more to the phone. So like Apple Pay is friggin' everywhere. Yeah. Like I rarely have to pull my card out.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be the next step versus like some major revolution for a phone.
Yeah, I think that's probably. So you think they perfected the phone?
I think they perfected this. I'm trying to think of the best way of saying it. I think they perfected the phone in its current form. I think you can always get a better camera and faster and different things like that. I think the next evolution of the phone is some sort of integration, be it in your body, be it in the world. But I think that either they get smaller and smaller and smaller and integrate into things like contact lenses, And now you're starting to get into like not necessarily full on VR, but you're going like AR and kind of mixing the world with like very. I understand Cyberpunk's on the mind, but I absolutely would think this regardless of watching that. I think that's the next evolution of it. That's me. I could be 1,000% wrong, and maybe they'll come out with something new. But like, what are you going to do? Right? Like you're going to get a nicer screen. Eventually, you're not going to have a notch because the camera's going to be baked in behind the glass or something, and that's not going to be a problem anymore. Or the fingerprints or something, or you don't need to look at it to unlock it because it senses your freaking heartbeat or something. I don't know, whatever. But like, they can always make technological advances like that, but it's not going to fundamentally change how you use a phone.
No, for sure. And it's an unfair question because it's like you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
Like nobody could have ever predicted the iPhone. Right. So it's like it's it's a crazy thing. But I think your theory is sound. I think that's a good.
Well, I got excited whenever it was like, oh, Apple and Microsoft and all these people got together, and I think it was like Amazon was part of it and Google and all that stuff. And it's like they are talking about a base protocol or a base language for assistants. So like, oh, if you want to talk to your assistant, you always say blah 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 blah. Like, what's the weather today, or how's the weather, or anything works. You don't have to say like, hello, Amazon, blah 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 blah, Alexa, please tell me the weather of Pittsburgh, PA, like whatever. It's just this more natural way of talking, and I think that you can still have brands and you can still have different like AIs working with the different companies, and like, oh, I like Google's voice package better or whatever. That's fine, as long as there's some sort of like kind of baseline protocol. And I think that's the thing. Either we're going to be held back by that, which, I mean, this is super niche, but like even looking at like something like a Kindle, right? Like I've been reading, so it's like I'm looking at the Kindle. I can't buy an Apple book and put it on my Kindle without jumping through a million hoops of cracking things, doing everything, because people have to be so precious with their systems and things like that. So they're like, well, we can't compete here. So like Apple's like, well, we can't compete with a Kindle because we have an iPad, we don't want to cannibalize. So we'll just, kind of bottle it up and you can only work with our thing. But we have a much better storefront and it's a lot more pleasing. And it looks a lot nicer and it's in color and all that stuff. And Amazon's like, well, we don't want Apple's dirty books on our Kindle. So it's just like, that's going to hold us back. I think we would be much, much further in as a honestly species if we weren't so, I think, evil. But that, again, that's a whole other conversation.
That spiraled.
No, but it's like we're selfish and everyone wants their piece of the pie. And
they want to make money.
Yeah, exactly. You're actively holding back everything. The whole thing with electric cars would be there now, but it's like, okay, and I don't know the ins and outs of this, so I could be misspeaking, but it's like, what does Tesla control? Like all the chargers on the sheets, all Teslas. Can Tesla, do you have like an adapter for another electric car? I don't know how that stuff works.
Yeah.
But it's like, how does that all work? What's the standard? What's the thing? And then the libertarian in me is like, what is a way to regulate all that stuff? And then people's first mind is like, oh, well, the government comes in and starts like doing everything. And it's like, well, I don't want that either. So I don't know what the answer is, but
Meteor.
What were we talking about? Meteor. Yeah, Meteor.
Meat eater.
Oh, meat eater.
No, I said
Meteor.
Yeah. What else you got?
Oh, yeah, I was talking about the iPhone. I'm sorry. Okay, so that,
yeah, sorry.
Remember when I said the iPhone? That's going to take 60 seconds. Not a problem. All right, hold on. We're going to keep going.
You did
here.
say that.
I did. Yeah.
That was like 5 minutes.
Here, this will actually take 60 seconds. I have a keyboard update. Remember back when I bought a whole bunch of keycaps and went off the deep end and spent hundreds of dollars on keycaps in 2020? Chelsea was literally sitting on the couch with me. She knows these are the very first keycaps I ever bought.
Yep.
Well, the Norse keycaps are shipping
like
from
Norse,
the manufacturers.
Norse mythology?
Yeah, so their keycaps, they have Norse symbols on them with the alphabet, and it's kind of cool looking. Hopefully like it's nice. They are on the way from Germany to the distributor, so I should get those maybe November, maybe in 2 months. So I'm very excited about that. And then Blurple, which is a blue-purple combo that kind of looks like old school Super Nintendo, like Super NES.
Yep.
That is officially manufacturing in Germany, which means I'll probably get that next year.
That is awesome.
Yeah. Okay. So that's my keyboard.
I'm enjoying the keyboard you gave me, so I appreciate that again.
Oh yeah. I forgot. So I got you a Ducky Mecha Mini.
Yep.
You don't miss the arrow keys still?
No.
You never found yourself doing that? Okay.
No. Well, the thing is, actually, I think there maybe was a couple of times.
Yeah.
It's like,
you don't,
wait a minute.
Yeah, you can't
I don't realize I used the arrow keys, but not a big deal. It was a little bit weird at first, though.
What was weird about it?
I'm just used to a big keyboard, so my
have
hands
so
were
much
really far.
space,
So I was
yeah.
like, holy shit, I can actually get real tight and play League. So it was actually pretty interesting. But I do like it. I like having space on my desk. I like the minimalist aesthetic. That's what I love.
It's a good one.
Less is more for me.
If you don't, I should have tuned it before you left, but I think it was, for being like off the production line, like I thought it was
great.
decent.
No, it's fantastic. I really I enjoy it.
So that's interesting that you like that, because those have cherry blacks in them, and those are a very heavy switch. So ideally, you would get something that's much lighter for something competitively.
I haven't played too much on it, but
I might have one more board coming. So before we leave tonight, I did make a board.
Yeah,
that purple one.
Yeah,
is real. It's gross. It's the
bad.
grossest thing ever. It sounds it's clicky switches.
Yeah,
so you can hear it. It's bad. But I am making one more board that I think you might like. We'll see. Okay. So that's 60 seconds on keyboards. I got a Steam Deck.
Yeah,
that's something that happened.
Yeah,
I got my email. They moved all the timetables up for Steam Decks.
Yep.
Yeah.
You have it, right?
Have it.
You played it.
Yeah. Guess what game? I played one game on it.
Yep.
Guess what game I played?
Metal Gear Solid.
No, and I can't actually tell you what the name of it is because I don't remember. It's the Ape Escape game. It's not Ape Escape, but it's an ape game. Very like kind of graphic looking top down, and you're an ape and you escape, and then you just kill people, like brutally dismember them.
Yeah.
Anyway, it ran fine. It was good. I think the overall it's chonky as heck, but it feels okay.
So you have like it's like a controller or what?
Yeah, everything's fine.
Like a Switch? It's kind of like a Switch?
It's like a Switch if the thumbsticks on the Switch were good.
Okay.
I think the triggers are a little... honestly, the triggers are fine. The shoulder buttons are a little mushy compared to an Xbox controller.
Gotcha.
But it's fine. I got a dock for it. Actually, it's downstairs. They just delivered before you got here. So I have a dock, so I can literally put that on the dock, and then it will give me a mouse, keyboard, and all that stuff too.
I wonder if I would enjoy a Steam Deck because I could just sit in bed and play video games.
Well, I got it because it was like, there are a lot of games that aren't demanding that I could be playing in here while like Chelsea watches like the British Bake Off or something, you know? So I figure that's like lets us be together and without me being like
present.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like I don't have to like,
listen to her,
acknowledge
talk.
her.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No, that's fantastic. And yeah, I don't know.
I'll have more to say about it probably, but everything that I was looking online, like the most intensive game I downloaded on it was Devil May Cry 5, so I'll give you a kind of a rundown with that whenever I play it. But that should hold 60 frames. Technically, it can play Cyberpunk. I don't think it will play it well.
No, probably not.
But it can play it.
Yeah, I've been watching Jeff play Cyberpunk.
I started again.
What killed Jeff?
Yeah.
At Twitch TV. .tv.
Yeah.
Fuck, what is it? Is it whatkilledjeff.tv?
No, I think it's twitch.com or twitch.tv/whatkilledjeff.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
Anyways, I've been watching him play and it's been making me want to reinstall it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I went through, I benchmarked it and everything. It solid like 87 frames no matter where I am.
Yeah.
So everything seems
well,
to
there's
be
this one section, it's like the Central Park section where there's a bunch of trees.
Oh, it just kills it.
Oh, it's rough. It is so crazy.
My game's crashed multiple times. Like multiple times, yeah.
Oh, wow.
So I made sure all my drivers were updated and everything and kind of uninstalled, reinstalled. The last time I played, it did not crash. I didn't play for too long, so we'll see.
I had very minimal crashes, and I've talked about it before, but like, my experience with it was very positive.
Yeah. I mean, that was kind of mine is like it didn't run perfectly all the time, but it was enough for me to get through it fine without anything.
Yeah, but I was maxed.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you had a much better computer than when I played it.
Yeah. Not anymore.
Yeah. Well, more or less.
It's close, but you beat me.
A little bit. I have to. If I'm going to buy a computer, like if I buy a new thing, it's got to be better than everyone else's.
I'm mad about it.
Yeah.
I'm not.
All right. Good.
Good.
How mad are you that the 40 80s or whatever were announced, and now that you can get a 3090 Ti for like half price.
I got some good time out of mine though.
You did. I don't think I got enough.
Oh yeah,
because
you should
now
be
you can get you can get a better you can get a 2 levels better graphics card for less than I paid.
Yeah, you should be upset about that.
Yeah, I'm not upset. It is what it is.
That was kind of a little reverse Uno card on you there. Yeah. You tried to make me feel bad. Yeah. I was like,
I tried to pick at you, and now I feel terrible.
I had this a year longer than you did. So,
speaking of feeling terrible, imagine, if you will, that you were maybe 4 years ago, 3 years ago. No, it's got to be maybe let's say 3 years ago.
I was 22.
Like pre-COVID.
22.
And Google comes out and they're like, hey, you know all these PCs that are crazy expensive and these consoles and all these things. Imagine if you never had an updated game. Imagine if you could play a game at max settings all the time. And imagine if it didn't throw heat and you could just turn on your TV and it's just instantly ready to go for you.
Yep.
Google Stadia. And people were like, that sounds great.
Too good to be true.
Too good to be true. And Google has a tendency to shutter things if it's not performing for it.
Right.
So anyway, in January, Stadia's done. So.
Oh, wow. Shocker.
Yeah. I should kind of add the fact that they said they were refunding anything that anyone bought. I'm willing to bet not a lot of people bought too many things. But the whole... I thought that was funny, and one note was Orcs Must Die 3, which, do you ever play any of the Orcs Must Die games?
I know, I'm familiar with the series, never played them.
Yeah. Essentially tower defense games, but third person for anyone who hasn't played them, and orcs just try to come at you and defeat your, I don't know, like energy well or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And you just throw down traps and shoot them and throw them off things and dismember them in creative ways. So you can basically like launch an orc into a lava pit or into like tar and then have arrows shoot at them. It's messed up when you really think about it. Like these poor orcs are just want to get to the promised land and you're just murdering the hell out of them. But
well, I was going to say, dude, in our society, we treat orcs really poorly.
Yeah, just across the
board.
They're
always, well, actually, that's kind of funny. I'm totally messing up your segment here.
You're good.
Like the new D&D book, right? Aren't they getting rid of like alignments? Like,
you
know how,
I don't know.
Like in 5th edition, it's like orcs are evil. Is like obviously.
Sure.
But now it's like nothing's evil.
Everything's
gray.
I don't know.
I don't like that because there's like, if you're a vampire, you're probably evil. It should have a percentage. That would be good.
Yeah,
81% of vampires are evil.
Yeah.
Right? That's a number I could hit, like wrap my head around.
I don't want to touch this with a 10-foot pole, but yeah, sure.
Vampires don't exist.
I know, but dude, everything's a
You're telling me
metaphor for something else.
I can get in trouble.
Yeah.
For saying a bullywog.
Yeah.
Is
no, I think it's the line of thinking that something has to be evil or something inherently
the percentage theory.
Evil. Yeah, so you're saying like Sith are just evil.
No. Which was an amazing aspect of that game where you could be a good Sith.
Yeah.
Because remember, you could still make the light side and the dark side decisions. Even as a Sith, you could make those decisions.
I don't know what game you're talking about, but okay.
Star Wars: The Old Republic.
Yeah, I never played
the MMO.
Oh, yeah. Well, I never got to that point. Dude, I'm always...
What are you talking about? Yes, you did. You played as the Imperial agent.
Yeah, so I was just a bad guy.
Yes, because you chose that way.
Did I?
Yes, because you have those decisions you can make.
Okay.
It's like Paragon Renegades, the same shit.
Oh, yeah. I'm remembering now.
So, yeah, you picked the Renegade. I picked the Renegade, too, because I was a Sith. But the interesting thing is, like, it's, they're independent events. So, if something made sense for you to make a good decision, you just kind of...
Yeah, but then that means that everything's just gray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was still had more dark side points than light side points.
Yeah, I guess. But I guess the main concept is rather than viewing a race by its like a percentage, rather than saying like all 80% of orcs are evil,
right?
It's look at the individual.
Well, it's more of a thing of like, okay, well, these orcs are going to kill you on sight.
Well, yeah,
because they're fucking
crazy.
Yeah. Not really, because like, some monsters, not that orcs are monsters, but some monsters are like, there's not a lot of like philosophy behind it.
Just give me a hard time. I get what you're saying. I think they're just trying to be a little bit more like.
I know what they're trying to do.
Yeah, well, they're trying rather than predefining orcs are evil.
Yeah, but it gives you a sense of what the creature's history.
Yeah, well, let the DM do that, man. Take a hands off.
Well, that takes away all the lore.
Yeah, screw the lore, man.
Oh,
that's the next gen of D&D. No
it's
lore.
Like if orcs are warfaring, tribal nations.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now they're peace-loving.
Now they're just orcs.
Daisy and muskets.
Why even make them look a certain way? Why even name them at that point?
I don't know.
Just make everything blank.
Yeah.
Just give the player a blank book.
Buddy, that's going to be, 7th edition.
7th edition blank book.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Write your
Am I
own
the only
story.
one? Am I the only one who feels this way?
I'm sure not.
I'm not saying like, okay, yeah, you can tweak it, but to say that there's no alignment to a race.
I didn't ever hear that, so
I'm pretty sure that's how it is. I could be completely wrong. Maybe it still exists.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just giving you a hard time. It's not.
That's what I thought. We got way off track.
Yeah.
But I think it's an interesting point.
Yes.
I think it is.
I agree.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do.
Right.
I think it's an interesting concept to discuss.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, there might be, because I understand what you're saying, like the aspect of like, why define.
I was just playing devil's advocate on why I think they're trying to do that.
It makes sense. I get that. But
Yeah.
is there a middle ground where, like, if you're a new DM, like if you're not familiar with fantasy, anything, maybe you don't know orcs are bad.
Yeah, you never.
Not even bad.
watched,
Let's even take away the words good and bad. Orcs are aggressive or
Okay, well that's
warfaring
that's
or whatever.
different. Yeah, that's different though.
Okay, well then I don't know.
But do you see what you just did there? Is like, oh, we'll take away good and bad. Totally fine.
Sure.
You can do that.
Sure.
And still have all the attributes that make something up. So you can be aggressive and belligerent, or maybe they aren't like eloquent speakers, or they're very gruff or rough, or they hold honor and stuff, and they're not.
Sure.
They don't like being sneaky.
I agree.
None of that is technically inherently like, oh, they're evil or good or something like that. I think that's what they're getting at.
No, I agree, but the alignment system's purpose is to, at a quick glance, I can get a sense of what something is.
Yeah.
So if I have a random monster, I'm turning to a random page in the monster book because I'm ad-libbing.
Mm-hmm.
I need to get a quick sense because I haven't read the fucking backstory of this thing.
Yeah.
And that's what the purpose is. You have that chart, you can see the stats, and then boom, there's the alignment. Okay, now I have some sort of sense of what this thing is geared towards.
Yeah.
That's my thought.
You know what takes me out of things is when a person is like, I'm evil, right? And they like embrace the evil thing. Like, how many evil bad guys think they're truly evil bad guys, right?
I would say the most evil bad guys don't think that they're evil.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I will say with the caveat that in Smallville, Lex Luthor...
He loves this show.
I do.
He does.
Lex Luthor finally gives in, and there's this turning point, and he's like, I am the villain of the story. And it cuts, and I'm just like, chills, man. Oh, it's so good. Anyway.
You talking about Smallville makes it sound like a masterpiece.
It's
not.
It's not. It's not a masterpiece at all.
No.
But
you talking about it makes it sound like the greatest thing.
Here's a question, and this is completely off topic. If you're talking about, so yes, it's not a masterpiece in terms of like television, right?
Right.
But it is also fair to say that it is the best portrayal of Clark Kent across all media. Well, I shouldn't say across all mediums because I'm pretty sure the comics would do really well.
You mean the birth of
okay, is the best TV show portraying Clark Kent in this time frame or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I think Tom Welling did a fantastic job. He's going to be at Steel City Con.
You gonna shake his hand?
I don't think so. I think it costs like $40 to shake his hand. Not
worth.
No. Now Michael Rosenbaum probably would. We were joking in Discord the other night where I want to go to Tom Welling and just be like, "Oh, cheaper by the dozen." oh, you were fantastic in that movie. Or like in Lucifer.
You think they'd be offended by that? Or
I think he would probably chuckle because I would only do that if I was wearing like the "Oh my God, I love Smallville" T-shirt or something like that. Like it would be hilarious.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
Well, wouldn't it be funny though? Is if you walk in and you have like your Superman shirt on, and maybe like because he always wore like so. The thing is like Clark Kent in Smallville would always wear primary colors. So it would be your red, your yellow, your blue, like Superman colors, right? And then anytime he's a bad guy or he's under kryptonite influence or something, he's wearing like green or black or something, and he looks off. And it's something as simple as just different colors, right? And it would be hilarious if I go in with like a Superman T-shirt, the jeans, the boots, the Smallville thing, and then slam down a cheaper by the dozen poster and be like, please autograph this. I don't know. I think it'd be hilarious.
No, that is funny.
I think he would laugh. He would probably smirk,
yes.
At least.
Well, yeah, you got to know the audience, right?
I hope so. Him and Michael Rosenbaum are actually doing a podcast where they go through the entire series of Smallville episode by episode and then talk about it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Rosenbaum was Luthor?
Yes.
And he's also, he did Flash in the animated stuff,
yes.
right?
He does a podcast now called Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum.
Yeah.
He gets some good people on there. Honestly, and I'll be serious. Like him and Emil. What's his first name? Guy plays Green Arrow.
Green Arrow in the show.
Yeah, the WB Green Arrow. Crap.
Bad at actor
Amal?
names.
Stephen Amal.
Yeah.
Stephen Amal or whatever.
Yep.
They have some really good talks.
Yeah.
Like they're very good. Anyway, what were we talking about?
I don't know. I cut you off about something.
No. Okay. You want to talk about games real quick? I mean, we got a little bit of time.
Yeah.
What do you? So I know one of the things was you don't like playing video games anymore. So this is kind of.
Oh, yeah. No, I just have no motivation to.
Yeah, we need to find something for you, perhaps.
Yep.
So there's a game that came out, a Nintendo game, called Splatoon. Now I haven't played on my Switch in quite some time.
Right.
And then this game Splatoon 3 comes out. Perhaps you've heard of. Do you know what Splatoon is?
Yeah, I do.
You're a kid and a squid.
Yes.
You're kid squid. Okay.
I do. I'm not even messing around. I do know.
Okay. Great. Yeah. So it's very good. Like it's really fun.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something where in the age of like here's the Call of Duty and the Battlefields and the Tarkovs and things like that, Splatoon can be very competitive. And almost like nail biting, but also it's like it plays really well. It's 60 frames per second. There's a million different guns and combinations you can use and stuff like that. And there are a lot of strategies there, which are great. But we've been playing it. I'm slowly getting people to get the game, and the more people to play, the better. And it's really fun.
Did you get your fourth stack?
Zach got the game. We were talking with Ryan. Ryan also is a avid Splatoon player.
Splatooner.
I don't know how into ranked Zach is. I don't know if he's super into the heavy competition, but
right.
Yeah, we'll play around. We'll have fun.
That's cool, dude.
I think it's good because the Mario Strikers that we play, I don't even know if we talked about it on the podcast when I was trying to get you to play Mario Strikers. That game had nothing in it if you didn't have people to play with. Like it was like you played the campaign for 40 minutes and you beat it and you're done. And this has like full campaign, full horde mode, multiplayer, like events, tons of, and like the cool thing is with the multiplayer is every 2 hours it cycles between two maps. So you're getting used to your team, you're getting used to the map. You would think it gets stale, but it truly doesn't. By the time you're just like, okay, I'm ready to see some new maps, it's like boom, here's some new maps for you. And that's cool. You know what maps are coming up in the rotation. And then the neat thing too is there's so much to unlock and learn and like kind of figure out as you're doing it. A lot of grinding, but the modes are like I think 3 minutes long, maybe like 3.5 minutes. So it's like, oh, okay, I'll play one more. Oh, I'll do this, and it's always this quick like, I'll do another one. And look, if you ever played Splatoon, you know if you like it or not. This game doesn't change that, but if you like Splatoon 2, it's very good.
Yeah, so good additions from the previous one.
So when we played Splatoon 2, the biggest issue was the party system was trash. So you could like quote unquote party up with people, but that didn't guarantee you're on the same team. So more often than not, you were just playing against your friends, and that never feels good.
Yeah.
So now the party system's fixed, so that alone is enough for me to be like, yeah, let's do it.
That's huge.
A lot of people are saying it's a lot more of the same. So new maps, sure. New weapons, sure. Like they have an umbrella now that's like a paint shotgun that then you can throw the umbrella and just kind of shoots off in the direct line and stuff. And there's some strategy behind it. And like we're starting to think about like team comp now, where it's like, okay, John, you're roller, you're gonna just kind of cover this area, and like if on a certain map it'll be like, all right, we'll take quadrants here and stuff like that. And I think the only thing that might not feel great is the point system is a little weird in that it's purely based off of like how much paint you're throwing everywhere. So regardless if you're like being strategic, so for instance, like I have a machine gun and I'm just throwing it everywhere, right? So I'm getting on walls and everything else like that. So my score is rocketing. And when Kyle and John started playing, they were getting like 600 points. I was getting like 1,000 to 1,300. The moment Kyle switches to the machine gun, now he's getting even more than me, right? Because he's going and spraying everything. But poor John, who really likes the paint roller on the ground, that's very much like, okay, this is just my area. And he's crushing the ground. He's killing a lot of people, has higher kill count than we do. But he still is staying in that 600 range because it's not giving him the points for like, we're getting paint everywhere. Like we're shooting people and we're just missing people and getting it on the walls, and that's giving us points. So it's just, it's silly. And I wish that they had a better way of like measuring impact.
Is the point system directly tied to leveling up?
So that's a very good question. Yes, but not like I think obviously I would level up slightly faster, but like it's a little weird because like yes it is, but also you get points for like the match, you get a bunch of bonuses for winning and things like that, so it's probably not going to be like, maybe over the course of a long period it would be. I think the thing that I'm interested in is the ranked mode, where it's one of the game modes where you can rank up even if you lose, if you play well. So I think that might start. I got to see how that, we haven't played yet, right? Because we didn't get a full 4-stack. So I want to play the ranked mode, see how that works. And then they have Splatfests, which is like, hey, pick your favorite condiment. Do you like mayo or ketchup? And you have to pick one, and then you go to battle for that condiment. So like,
it's like a community.
It's community event. Yeah. So it's like, okay, for the weekend.
Yeah.
I don't think they've ever done that one again, because if you can imagine, like obviously you're just spraying paint everywhere, and if you picked mayo, well, it's going to be white, and then you're literally just spraying white goop everywhere. Maybe not a kid friend. Well, I'll tell you sometime on a Stair. But this, they changed it in 3, where now it's teams of 3, and you have 2 attackers and 1 defender. I think that's interesting. So I didn't get to play the first one. It was in beta whenever they did the first Splatfest. So the next one's coming, and we'll try it out. Cool. It has like everything, like season passes. There's a freaking like Tetris card game thing baked into it somehow.
Why not?
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
I'm glad you're liking it, dude. It does sound like it's pretty well rounded.
I think it's going to be great.
A fun experience.
Call of Duty might take off. That seems promising-ish. We'll see. Like I'm not going to buy that day one. Like the beta was fine. But yeah, it's something that you can just pick up and play, and even if you have 3 minutes to play it, that's good enough, right? So I don't know. I liked it. It was a good time.
No, that's really good. So as you were talking, and I was listening to you, because I was looking at you and listening
and squinting, just like, oh my god, is he still talking about Splatoon?
That's more the cats. But
sorry, buddy.
I will say, I think we're gonna get back to the top 5s next week.
Okay,
it's fair to say.
Yeah.
And I have a couple new ideas that I'm putting on the list.
Okay.
So not that we're going to do this next week, but it's just that we have a big list, by the way. I think people know that.
Yeah.
Of things in the hopper. In the hopper.
Hopper.
Anyways, so the one is actually was sparked during the top 25 discussion, where it's essentially best sequel, but I don't know if there's a better way to phrase that.
That's tough. No, so
because it was the best second game. The way I have it written down is best second game in the series, and what I mean by that is it's just a perfect evolution from the first game. If that makes sense. You understand where I'm coming from with that?
So I took that separately. I didn't look at it as best evolution. I looked at it more as most drastic.
Sure.
change.
Yeah. If you want to go that way.
Yeah.
Drastic. Yeah. I think we're talking about the same thing.
Okay.
Because what I was talking about when that came up was the Sly Cooper series. And I think Sly 1 versus Sly 2 is the biggest leap.
Yeah. And you can make that argument. And maybe that's what we feel out as we're arguing for that kind of stuff. But
so anyways,
I'd be down for that.
I just thought of another one.
Can it be a sequel, or does it have to be 1 and 2?
No,
or
it can be 2 and 3. It can be 7 and 8. It can be
between games.
Although I will say, does Final Fantasy count? Because to me, it has to be the same story. Or maybe it doesn't.
I think it should count because
Final Fantasies, they're not sequels.
Yeah, but Titanfall 1 and 2 aren't either. Same with Call of Duty, technically.
Okay.
You know
it
what
all
I mean?
counts.
You
It
know
all
what I mean?
counts.
Like
It all counts.
Yeah.
It all counts.
All right.
It all counts.
Yeah.
It all counts.
No good, no evil.
Anyways, the second one I was thinking about is best game types for multiplayer games.
Multiplayer game types, yeah.
Yeah.
Escort missions.
You were talking about like the kind of the different things for Splatoon. I'm talking multiplayer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, oh man, remember Rush?
Battlefield. Yeah, I'm gonna be dead serious. I think some of the game types we might be talking about Fear 3. Have you ever played Fear 3?
No.
I think we might be talking about some Fear 3. But that's a good one.
You like that one?
Yep.
I'm gonna put multiplayer
game modes.
Good.
Yeah. I like it.
Blitzball. Blitzball is fantastic.
Yeah.
Or Griffball, excuse me.
Blitzball's good too.
Blitzball was good.
Can you do multiplayer in Blitzball?
No, you couldn't. It's Final Fantasy X.
Yeah, no, there's no multiplayer aspect to it.
PS2, yeah. Well, there was online in PS2, but it wasn't very good.
Yeah.
But not in Blitzball. Right. Sorry. I think that statement was misleading. There is no Blitzball in Final Fantasy X.
Yeah.
At all.
I had to screw on a modem in the back of my
No
PS2.
multiplayer. Did I just say there's no Blitzball?
Yeah.
There is no multiplayer.
Okay, I'm just agreeing with everything you're saying. We'll
Final
fix
Fantasy
it in post.
Jesus, I'm off today. Anyways, Griffball is what I was talking about. Love Griffball. But I would probably, as a little foreshadowing, I would probably argue for SWAT in Halo. It's the best game mode.
There's no reason why I can't be both.
No. I'm always a one per series kind of guy.
See, I think that's a disservice.
Yeah, the game modes, maybe.
Yeah, because like here's the thing: are we talking specific game? And we should be talking about these rules during the actual top 5. But like, just for a tease, are we talking about a specific game? So like,
yes,
I like the capture the flag mode in World at War.
Yes,
gotcha. So it's not. I like capture the flag. It has to be a very specific
game.
Love it. Perfect.
Because I think it's implemented differently in every game.
I couldn't agree more.
No matter the. Yeah.
Capture the flag alone, I think it's important of like, do you have to
capture the flag is better in Halo than it is in Call of Duty. 100%. 100%. Because you have the vehicle aspect, dude. The play. I mean, we were even playing Infinite, and the plays we were making, it's like tied. It's overtime. We fucking make a warthog play, and you're driving all the way back. It's fantastic. You can't get that in Call of Duty. All right. Well, you're talking about World at War.
Well, it was pretty good.
There's vehicles in that, I guess.
That was the first one that had capture the flag. They had some really good maps too. I think maps play a part. Anyway, we'll talk about it.
Do we have maps?
Best maps?
Yeah.
That's going to be tough. I feel like that's going to be like, we like Call of Duty a lot.
Dude, Call of Duty has some of the best map design ever created.
I completely agree. I honestly, I think World of War has a lot of the
Get better.
Map design. Yeah. Anyway.
Get better.
Rest of the industry, I guess. I don't know. I think we need to get better because when you really think about it, how many multiplayer games do we actually play? Like there might be the best multiplayer map ever created.
If we're talking best multiplayer map ever, and we're just doing top 5s at this point, Counter-Strike comes to mind.
That's what I mean. Yeah, like I think that. But that's like what I'm saying is, you ever hear of a game called Monday Night Combat? Some of the most fantastic maps that support every play style you could possibly. That's the thing is like a good map will support every play style, and I think a lot of Call of Duty maps nowadays support a very specific play style.
Yeah, I'm talking the golden age, but all right,
anything pre 2010.
Yikes.
Just like movies. All right. What else? Oh, so real quick too. This is a kind of shout out to the developers of Survivor.io on the. I assume it's on Android too, but it's on Apple.
Yep.
If you ever played Vampire Survivors, Survivor.io is that, but with zombies, and it's not overly. You could play it without ever spending it. So I never spent a dime on it. And I've played this a lot in the past 2 weeks. I would probably say on average, I think I put like an hour to an hour and a half per day on this game.
Does that make you want to spend money?
So it makes me easily justify it. So I keep eyeing up like, oh, this package, you get like 12 keys to do whatever.
Yeah.
And I keep holding off on it. But it's like, I'm also getting more time on this game than I have on any other game, like in recent memory. So yeah, in a way, it does make me want to spend money because I want to support the developer and stuff like that. I do watch a lot of ads because it's like, yeah, I could pay $1.99 for 3 keys, or I can just open this chest if I watch this 30-second ad. So I'll just like hit the ad and then go make
that supports
lunch
them.
Or something.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. So like, I don't feel like I'm cheating anyone out of money.
Yeah.
But it doesn't seem like a cash grab as much as I thought it was going to, because I'm like, all right, let's see what this is. And like, I really like it. I think it's well designed. I think they have a lot of carrots on sticks, and you feel like you're constantly rewarded at progressing and things like that. And like, it has an energy system where it's like, okay, it costs 5 energy to do this level, and you only get like 30 a day or something like that. And you could buy more if you want, but like, I never run out of energy. So
wow.
I think it's well done. I think it's not egregious. People should check it out if you like Vampire Survivors, or just play Vampire Survivors because it's also very good. I'm gonna table. So I did start playing Return to Monkey Island. I still don't know how I feel about point and click adventures. I think that's a Steam Deck game. Like I'm gonna play on that. So I might have more to say about that next week. So the only other one I want to talk about, I think we mentioned Tinykin offline, but Tinykin is very good. It's on Game Pass. I guess I never played. What's the Nintendo Pikmin game or whatever? You ever play Pikmin?
Pikmin?
Yeah, Pikmin.
No.
Neither have I. So I don't really know how
idea
close
what
it is to
about.
Pikmin.
Yeah,
but this Tinykin game is you're like a tiny dude in like this massive house. So it's like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids style thing. And you're basically just going through and you're collecting it's a collectathon type stuff. And you're collecting these little, for lack of a better term, Pikmin looking guys. So they think like little, I don't know, like, you know, those like slime guys from Dragon Quest or whatever.
Yep.
Think kind of like that. And like each color has a different function. So if you grab red ones, you can throw red ones and explode things. And if you have green ones, you can create a ladder and stuff like that.
Sure.
So you just go around collecting and finding these little Pikmin guys. I shouldn't say that, but Tinykin guys. And just completing a level and doing whatever the level says. So like on one level, and you're in a bathroom and you have to like unclog the drain and start a rave with a disco ball, and you're like, not. It's ridiculous, but it's like super well done. It's a platformer. It feels really good. It's something to play. The reason why I think you would like it, and the cool thing is I could show you this in like 20 seconds. You'd be like, yeah, that's really neat. There is a theme playing throughout like a level, right? And based off of where you are in the level, the theme, like the melody stays, but the way it's played is different, right?
Okay.
It's bizarre. So there's like this happy theme playing and whatever. And at one point you go into a piano. And as you go into the piano, the theme that's like more like orchestral or whatever, it suddenly turns to literally a piano playing.
Yeah.
And it's so seamless, like you almost don't even realize it's happening. It's real cool. Like I thought of you instantly for that, where I'm like, you would appreciate that more than anyone else.
Yeah, that does sound interesting.
Yeah, so it was really, really neat. But that's like a quick, like, you could probably beat that in like 6 hours, and I like did everything. So it's not too much.
Game Pass?
On Game Pass, Tinykin came out this year. It should, check it out.
Done.
But we're running up on the year We have a lot of. I think I have like 12 more games to play before the end of the year.
Same.
Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah, it's gonna be really rough.
It'll be good. Good episode though.
Yes, sir.
I don't know. I think that's really it. I did play Mothergunship Forge, which is essentially you build guns in space and then shoot robots.
Yeah.
I think it's a cool concept, but I think that it's very it's not comfortable. I feel like it's a little cheap in terms of like, oh, this robot's shooting at you, but you don't actually know it's shooting at you until you turn and suddenly there's like a bullet in your face. I guess it's kind of like real life, but you know what I mean? Like it's it's not a fun VR game. So I was like, it's whatever. It's fine. I give it's like maybe like a 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
Just because it feels good to like, oh, I picked up this part of a gun, and it's almost like you're building like a Lego, right? Yeah. So it's like this gun or this thing has 3 barrels, and you could just pick random barrels to put on. So you could have like 3 Gatling guns and just blow people away with it. Like it's neat in that regard, but that gets kind of old after a while.
I see.
Hopefully next week I'll start. I downloaded Resident Evil 4 for, it's spooky season, right?
Yeah,
starting to be a little spooky. So we'll see how far I can get in Resident Evil 4 without having
Resident Evil 4
terrors.
is like a good game though.
Yeah.
Just not, it's a scary game.
I mean, that's the only Resident Evil I actually went through and played and beat.
Yeah,
so.
it's a lot of people's favorites.
Yeah.
So.
It'll be interesting to see how it is in VR. I think it'll be interesting.
I think you're right.
Yeah. I don't know. What else? I think it's...
I think we covered it. I think we got
everything. We're caught back up. So...
we are caught back up, for sure.
It'll be good. Good next week. We'll do the top 5.
We'll do the top 5. And we'll get back to the polls. We already have one. I wonder if anyone voted on that yet.
We'll get a little sneak peek.
A little staircase action. 100% yes. And we have a comment from Jeff.
That's awesome.
With an Elsa picture. Interesting. Thanks, Jeff.
Is it a let it go?
Are you going to let fear control your life?
Oh, that's what the Elsa picture says?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a pretty wild picture.
Yeah, it's pretty deep. No, not going to let fear control our life.
I absolutely am going to let fear control my life.
That's why
that's what you're all about.
I'm all about the fear.
Yeah. Anyways.
Terrified constantly.
Well, that's all we got. Yep. Thanks for listening. It's fun to get back into it.
Yeah.
We promise never to leave you again.
We promise to have a hopper full of extra episodes. So
when are we doing that? Not this week. Next week.
Next week. Yeah.
All right. We're gonna film a bunch. We're gonna have it ready. So when we're out of town, we're gonna put some up.
Yep. Just have a lot of.
It's probably gonna be very top 5 heavy / random conversation.
It'll be funny because we'll be able to we'll have to do it some funny way of like, hey, how about today? And then I'll just I'll have to record Monday, December 3rd, or whatever it is, just something stupid.
Yeah. All right, there it is. Check us out on couchcompany.games, at Couchco Games on Twitter.
Yeah. Rank us on Spotify. We'll have maybe we'll keep the polls to Twitter just to keep it simple, but then I will have the question out on Spotify.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And this week's is...
if you can come up with a superpower
that
can only be used for good.
Obviously, the rules are you can't just say this can only be used for good.
Yeah, well, I mean, sure, but what is that? What is that? What does that mean?
Yeah, we're gonna debunk it.
You can only do good.
Yeah.
Okay, well, good for whom?
Right. Anyways, all right. A little sneak peek next week. Yeah. All right. That's all we got. Like I said, so same time, same place next week. Thanks for joining us on the couch. Peace.